Alright, what is up you guys? I am here with a new video idea. So, I was looking for ideas for, a countdown to WrestleMania 35. So I figured I would do this. I'm going to try to do all of them before WrestleMania 35. But I'm going to try to review every WrestleMania as kind of like a mini review. I'm not going to do full half-hour pay-per-view reviews like I do for other ones. So I'm not going to do star ratings, but I will do an overall letter grade so we can kind of compare them to all the others. WrestleMania 34, I'm not going to do because I already did a full review on that one, and I've talked about that one a lot. So we're going to go WrestleMania 33 all the way back to number 1. So if you like this idea, be sure to let me know. I'm going to try to do all these before 35. So here we have it. WrestleMania 33, Orlando, Florida, Camping World Stadium, aka the Citrus Bowl, the Ultimate Throw Line, and then we have your poster artwork, which I really like this cover. I think it's beautiful. You have a great roster on there. I don't think it's overcrowded. I think WrestleMania and the Rumble are one of those ones where you could kind of overcrowd the cover. Everything else doesn't need that many people on it. But beautiful logo, and, great presentation. This stage is one of the best they've ever done. You can get a good look of it here behind Undertaker there. And we have the back real quick. So, first we'll go over the Hall of Fame we had. Kurt Angle, Teddy Long, Beth Phoenix, DDP, Ravishing Rick Rude, finally, and the Rock and Roll Express. And then we also had Eric LeGrand as your kind of, I guess you want to call it celebrity inductee. But, we also had the legacy inductees, and Eric LeGrand also got the Warrior Award. So, no mainstream celebrities in the Hall of Fame this year. But, when it comes to the matches themselves, we had a very strong opener with Shane McMahon and AJ Styles. Great match, and it was a great way to start off the pay-per-view. I didn't think it was a good idea for that to be the opener at the time. I was surprised that was going to be the opener, but I think it was the right decision. And I think it was the match of the night, personally. And we also had, before that, the 3 pre-show matches. You had the Battle Royal, Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. We had the Great Cruiserweight match, which was Austin Aries and Neville. And then we had Dean Ambrose versus Baron Corbin for the Intercontinental title. Cruiserweight match was great. I loved that match. I thought it was fantastic. And some people could even say that was match of the night, because it was great. But, we also had the New Day hosting the pay-per-view, which is alright. I'm not really a big fan of when they have hosts. I don't really feel like you need it. But, they had some contribution to it. But we also had the Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho feud, coming to the climax. And it was an alright match. I was a huge fan of this storyline building up to it. But I felt like the match just wasn't what it needed to be to not really conclude the feud, but have it be, the big stage where the feud's going to come to a halt. It was an okay match. We also had a very memorable moment with the Hardy Boys returning. They were added in. I kind of knew they were coming when they announced it was going to be a ladder match. I felt like that kind of gave it away a little bit, but the crowd popped for that. That right there was a WrestleMania moment to be remembered. Another WrestleMania moment, looking back, is obviously not as meaningful as it once was. We had John Cena and Nikki Bella versus The Miz and Maurice, with John Cena, of course, proposing to Nikki Bella, which was memorable, and now it's just more, I guess you want to say awkward? I don't know, but yeah. At the time, it was alright. You had Al Roker as the ring announcer, But we also had 2 women's matches, and we had the 6-pack challenge for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Alexa Bliss, Naomi, Becky Lynch, Mickie James, Natalya, and Carmella. You know, I felt like this match really suffered from time restraints. You know, that's kind of what always happens. WrestleMania always goes really long nowadays. So I felt like, I don't know if it was confirmed or not, but I really feel like it went short. And then the Fatal 4-Way Elimination match. I like that they added elimination. I love elimination matches personally. For the Raw Women's title, we had Bayley walking in as champion versus Sasha Banks, Charlotte, and Nia Jax. So, you know, I think that was better than the SmackDown match. You know, obviously, it wasn't anywhere near, you know, the WrestleMania 32 match, you know, anything like that. But it was still enjoyable. So, and then, of course, we had, like I said before, the ladder match for the Raw Tag Team titles. You know, the moment itself was fantastic. But the match itself, you know, I felt like it was just a way to reintroduce the Hardys. There weren't really any crazy high spots. You know, not much ring psychology. It didn't really go that long. We had the one high spot with Jeff Hardy, you know, going off the ladder, and then Matt winning the titles. So that was decent. And Seth Rollins versus Triple H in the non-sanctioned match. You know, we had the Kingslayer. I think he came out as Jaime Lannister. I believe that's what it was. So, you know, this match, I felt like it was good. You know, it went a little long, but, you know, it's kind of your normal Triple H match. You know, it's slow, methodical, and Seth Rollins, of course, picked up the win, putting him over, which was great. That kind of needed to happen. But, you know, this match was a long time coming. You know, this was supposed to happen at WrestleMania 32. Obviously, it didn't. So, you know, due to injury. But, you know, this was a decent way to end that feud. You know, nothing really special. You know, nothing too memorable. You know, Steph going through the table, I really think is the most memorable spot in the match. So, Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. The infamous sperm entrance. So, you know, this feud was pretty cool going in. You know, you had Bray Wyatt as champion, which was great. You know, he won at the Elimination Chamber. But, you know, they started with the, I guess you want to call them hallucination mind games. You know, you had the worms on the ring mat to scare Randy Orton, to intimidate him. You know, really the only high spot of the match was the RKO on the outside of the ring. That's really all I can remember from the match itself, and that's not a good thing. You know, I could watch this like an hour ago, and I just would not remember much about this match except for, you know, the gimmicks. And then Bray Wyatt just lost the title. You know, I felt like he really should have won the title, or, you know, retained the title here, and then maybe drop it eventually. But yeah, very disappointing match. And, you know, what a lot of people would also say is match of the night, we had Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg. It went longer than I kind of expected. This was a high-octane, you know, in-your-face match, which is what it needed to be. This was fantastic. You know, you had Goldberg coming in as Universal Champion and, you know, defending against Brock Lesnar. You know, you had Spears, you know, going through the, you know, the timekeepers area, you know, the barricade. We had just, you know, right away, not right away, but very, you know, early in the match, you had near falls after finishers. This was, I wouldn't say brutal because, you know, it's just a singles match, but for a singles match, this was, you know, violent and high octane. So, you know, it was a good way to end this feud. I was a huge fan of Goldberg coming back and beating Brock. And it was a really cool moment at Survivor Series because really no one expected that. You expected it to just be a one-off appearance and really nothing more than that. So Brock Lesnar won the title after an F5, of course, to, you know, regain the belt for what seemed like eternity. It was a little over a year, so yeah. It was a cool moment at the time. Looking back, Brock should obviously not held the title that long. And, the Universal title is now basically just a part-timer's title. But WrestleMania 35 could change that. So the main event, we had Roman Reigns versus The Undertaker. This match, I didn't expect much, and somehow it performed lower than my expectations. This was a long match. It was called by Jim Ross, which was great. Anytime Jim Ross comes back, fantastic. But, I hate to say it, but Undertaker just can't go as well as he used to. He's getting up there in age, and Roman really did have to carry him in this match. And I believe it was no DQ. It just randomly turned into a no DQ match, no holds barred. So same thing. But you had the announcer table spot. You had near fall after near fall, and I did like this little detail, how Roman didn't beat him with a normal spear. He had to run the ropes, get momentum, and then go for the spear, and then pin the Undertaker. And, after that match, of course, we had Taker giving what we thought was his farewell. He put his jacket and hat on, and then took his gloves off, took the jacket off, and then put the hat nicely on top of it in the ring, and what seemed like a farewell. Like, that was an emotional moment watching it live. For me, a lot of people, that was emotional. So, it was a great way to end WrestleMania. Not a great main event, but it was, looking back, it's obviously more for The Undertaker's farewell. But obviously that didn't come to fruition. Overall letter grade for this show, I'm going to give it a B-. I think it was a good WrestleMania, but I don't think it was great. But it's not average. Like, I thought it was good. It had its high points, but then it also had some low points. But let me know if you agree with my rating. Let me know what your ratings would be, obviously, and if you enjoyed this new idea. So for now, this has been the DVD Freak. Peace out.